What up, what up, what up? Good morning. It's Jordan Martin Investment Group, Martin Stock Club. This is the watch list for today, December 7th. Let me go ahead and start off with this, man. If y'all ain't trading these watch lists, y'all just looking at money pass you by. Because this move to the downside went over 300% on your options. I traded it. I'm sorry if you didn't, but you got to apply it, man. I'm putting the charts in front of you. Don't just watch the watch list just for the sake of watching a watch list, unless you're using it to learn TA, right? But please take advantage of this because it's money. So anyway, let's get to 10 tickers I'm looking at today. Usually I only give y'all 3 and I'll trade the others in the Discord, links in the description. I'm gonna give y'all all 10 today. We're gonna start off with XLU. XLU have a bullish engulfing candle on the daily. We see we have, move up, move down, move up, move down, move up, move down, move up, move down. What's coming after these move down, after these pullbacks? We're getting moves back up, right? So we have a bullish engulfing of this inside day candle. All right, so I'm gonna look at taking out the high over here for us to continue to move back up, right? It's gonna be a potential swing or it could be a day trade. But mainly looking at it from the swing side, but we do see with candles like this here that there is some day trade opportunity as well if it gets moving. All right, alert is gonna be set at 71.25. Again, for these alerts, I'm usually looking at a break and close above these levels on the 5-minute for me to take my entry. Slide over to Adobe. All right, Adobe's been pulling back down. We see we have some support here, have some support here and then here as well. And go ahead and mark those off real quick. All right, what I'm looking at after this hammer off of this previous low is a move potentially back up. Now we have some room to the downside for sure. This is one that can kind of go either way. I really want to take it back to the upside, but I'm gonna just go off the high or the low and trade it which way. And it might cause me to take a trade down, pull out of that one if we start flipping and then take the trade to continue to the upside. So setting alerts above the high of day and below the low of day. High day was 334.22. I'm gonna go 334.30 for the upside. And then I'm gonna go, but for the downside, 327.40 was the low. I'm gonna go 327. So 327.30 that way too. All right. So looking at the low coming down, testing 323, high moving up, moving and pushing towards 340 after we break above 338. Expedia. Y'all gonna notice something about these charts. They're gonna look a lot alike, right? It's because we're trading setups. Expedia is down pre-market. Right now is resting at this support level. So I'm gonna look and see how we move. Right now it's about 8:40 in the morning, 8:50. We're gonna see what we get with a 9 to 9:30 movement. If we can break this low of 93.35, we can start seeing us come head towards the gap, possibly stopping around 91.50 or so, right? But we might see a move in that direction towards the middle of that gap before potentially consolidating out there. So there is a potential trade I'm looking at. So I'll go ahead and put this 93.35 was the low, 93.30 will alert me that we have broken through that low and we're now sitting in gap territory where I'll look to trade that. I was going to also look at trading it back up, but seeing as it's so far low pre-market, not really something I'm interested in doing right now. It could go back up and fill gap, but there's probably going to be more opportunities for better gap fill trades than this one. So I'm gonna pass on the gap fill for Expedia. FedEx, right? Same thing, another pullback, resting that support. All right, this is when I was looking at taking actually into close. So I'm gonna look at catching this one in the middle of this candle. All right, so if we can break above 175, hold above 175 on the 5-minute, then I'll go ahead and enter my calls. I'm looking to swing it. And then once we could take out the high of 176.57, then I'm looking at moving back up to 179.90 or about 180. All right, so I'm gonna go 175 here, shoot the middle, break and close above that. 175 should hold as a psychological level for support once we break and close above it. Move over to lows. All right, lows, big pullback. And this you see how, right, we see that we previously had a support here or resistance here, here, right? You see it turn to support here, right? So looking at potential bounce on lows as well to pull it back up towards 210. I'll set an alert for 205.75, right? To look at potentially moving this back up here. And then to the downside, we do have a lot of room below, right? We have a big gap. You can see that gap here, right? Huge room down below. That one I might not take, right? If we get the, you know what, I probably will. All right, lower day was 199. I'm gonna go 198.9. Let's go 198.9. All right, so 198.90 triggers. Want to see it close below that on the 5. And then I look at us at least coming back down to test this open, which was 195. So that'll come down and look to test that as a target before we start looking at moving back down, right? Because we still have all of this space that we need to come back and possibly fill up. You know, again, gaps don't always fill 100% of the time, but majority of the time they do. Right, so we have a lot of room on this gap. And these can both turn to potential swing trades or day trades. SPY, telling you, you're gonna notice it. A lot of these charts look the exact same. That's how you find consistency in your trading. Right? SPY, pull back support, right? Bounce, 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 bounce. Can go either way, right? We also have a huge gap on SPY. Right? So there's a lot of room to the downside, especially on swings. Taking, 3 weeks out on your contracts and just letting it rock, letting it go ahead and fill down towards that gap fill below. So we can also look at this, right? We can also see that potentially trend line here. We got 1, 2, 3, right? Bouncing up. SPY, I really want to see us flip back. I'm going to go ahead and look at about the middle level of SPY. It's about 397.69. Let's go 397.75 to potentially go back and retest high, which was about 400. All right, so 397.75, break and close on the 5-minute. Let's take it. Let's go down 397.25 or 35. Let's go 25. All right. Go ahead and start moving back up, test the high of day. And then from there, if we break high of day from yesterday, then I might go ahead and swing that back up to a 402 and then 404. All right, so we have some levels that we can go ahead and take out that way. Let's keep going. 10 tickers, VLO. Big drop, big red. Y'all know energy has been popping off very strong lately, but big pullback, right? So I'm gonna throw that RSI on there real quick. What we at? Probably like a 20. 35. Really? All right. So we had 35 on RSI. I like to guess the RSI. So we're pretty much, oversold. If not technically, 30 will give you the technical oversold. But we got a little bit more room to come back to this 114 area. Anytime we take out a high, we see that we haven't taken out highs before. This little drop, right? So this high, this high, this high, right? Every single candle was a lower high on the candle. So if we take out a high, cautious because it could fake out, but that gives us an opportunity to start looking at our reversal back up. So I will set an alert for a new high. I really would want to swing it once we close above that high. So I'm less prone to get faked out. All right, so that high was 123.23, and I'm setting mine at 123.32. All right, so that'll trigger me on about a 9-cent move above the high. If we break the low, we can continue down to 115. The biggest trade I want to take is catch that move back up once we come down to support. So I'll probably wait on this move here, not just catch the continuation, but that's tradable as well, right? Tradable to pull it back down to 115 from 117.50. And I'll still set that alert because I might trade. I'm just keep it real with y'all. I might trade. It's all in the setup. As long as you know your setup, as long as you're looking at it and making technical sense of it, you're good. Exxon pulled down, testing support here. Now we got our oversold. Flip to that other time frame, right? So oversold RSI on a 1 hour starting to curl back up. You can always do back tests to see how stocks perform based on different indicators and different time frames. But this looks pretty good for me. What I'm looking at is the same thing here, right? Just like I was talking about the highs previously, we see that we haven't broken and closed, right? We made a new high on this candle, but we shot right back down. So if we can get a new high and close above that on the 1 hour, then I'm looking at swinging Exxon. All right, so our last high on Exxon, I'm gonna take out this high, which was 104.12. So I'm gonna go 104.15, right? And once we take out that, I wanna see it close to swing my calls, right? Huge pullback. We know we got some oil news still going on. And then we have pretty easy swing targets above right here, right? You see where we can come back, see where we can reject, and where we can test previous support as a new resistance, right? Pretty decent move there. Walmart. Y'all gonna have some tickers today. Walmart, switch to the daily. Right. We see we're starting to curve back down. We got this big gap, right? We got earnings, so we have a huge earnings gap here. We got some room to come back here, but same sort of deal on the 1 hour, just like Exxon. We see that we went oversold, started flipping back up, started taking out some candles, right? Potential continuation back up to 151. I'm just gonna look for a continued high, right? So our last candle high on the 1 hour was 149.88. I want to see us take out that high, hold it, and just go ahead and start moving back up towards 151 before it. And it might reject 151. All right, we might see it come up here, reject that, and then push back down here and close this gap right here as well. All right. That's why I like gaps that give you nice potential targets, because again, most gaps fill. Johnson & Johnson, one day, huge bearish engulfing, taking out a lot of candles, 1, 2, 3. All right, 3 candles got taken out. We got a couple of wicks down here we could target for an easy support bounce. 1, 2, 3. Clear as day example. Don't let anybody tell you that support and resistance don't flip. Clear as day example. Resistance, 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 resistance. That's my alarm to wake up. I've been up, baby. Resistance, 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 resistance. Support, support, support. All right. Get used to these things. It'll make your life easier. It'll make trading easier. Just accept it for what it is, right? A lot of times your support and resistance are going to interchange. Okay. So now we're looking at heading back to support. Low a day on Johnson & Johnson, 175.93. We're going to go 175.9. Break that low, close below it on the 5-minute, and look to continue back down and test these previous lows around 174.75. All right, so there's your target. There's the move down. We're looking for a continued move. And then lastly, did I start with XLU? I started with XLU. Well, there we go. All right, we got Adobe, Expedia, FedEx, Lowe's, SPY, VLO, Exxon, Walmart, Johnson & Johnson, XLU. Y'all want to get these trades called out with entries and exits for options, then y'all got to hop in the Discord. Come trade with us. Come learn with us. We teach every single day. Hop in the chat. It's in the description. Y'all have a good day, man. Make some money. Make me proud. Come back in the comments later and tell me how much money you made off the watch list.